Summer is singing in streets again, and summertime's travels have now begun. The cuckoo sings of the burnished grain, and long journeys gilded by the sun.
We soon have the holiday passenger traffic with us. But between us, I think we can deal with all their...
The superintendent of operating speaks in the ears of his timetable brains, who sit in their offices calculating how to fit in fast summertime trains. Cudgel your brains for summertime trains. Draw in a train for the passengers waiting to hear cuckoos singing a Highland fling. Draw in a line for a non-stop to Edinburgh over the Tyne. And so the new service comes into its hour. The morning is June, the weather is fine. At King's Cross Depot of Motive Power, the drivers come in to sign on the line.
Bob Marrable, top-link train driver, who's always a punctual arriver, wears boots, footplate size, has colour light eyes, and engine oil in his saliva. Rolly Ruffle, his mate in the team, often sprays out his tonsils with steam and treats gravel rashes by damping down ashes and using the paste like Cold Creek.
The 9:30 non-stop train to Edinburgh, the Elizabethan, will leave from platform 5. Passengers for Dundee and Aberdeen travel in the front of the train.
At King's Cross, the coaches are filling with passengers. Porters are willing to carry their cases and find them their places for a tenner or even a shilling.
The Elizabethan will leave from platform 5. Passengers for Dundee...
Like a general gathering forces, the chef's checking up his resources. All the pains in your belt Mr. Wheeler can melt and roll your eyes round with his sauces. Though the guard may look calm and laconic, his obsession with time is quite chronic. But a punctual start binds the train to his heart. The relationship's purely platonic.
At platform 5, the Elizabethan, a special express of the holiday season, summons its strength. And the time to depart marks an ending for some, but for many, a start. As the engine goes with a swing and a shine past the engine sheds, there's a man on the line who gave her that shine. He's the fitter. His was the skill, his the hands that uncoupled her rods, stripped her gear, packed her glands with his firm, skillful hands. And the boy was one of that servicing crew who gave care and craft to each thread on each screw and made it fit true. They're the fitters, the men with the cunning to bring through each big end and piston, valve, spindle and spring, all that power and swing.
The buffet's archdeacon of elegance serves coffee with impartial sentiments, cigars for the swells, bath buns for blonde belles, and fags for the lads in the regiments.
The passengers sitting at buffet tables, the Howards, the Berts, the Cynthias, the Mabels, enjoying the comfort and ease in their seats, careless of crumbs in turnips or pleats, admire the gleam on the chromium plate, the polish on tables, the unfaded state of curtains and fabrics. But rarely give thought to the long years of training, the practice that taught men in large workshops the best way to take a carriage to pieces and how to remake it better than new. The seats that are sat on had to be made to welcome all shapes. First, the material that mustn't fade or wilt under pressure was cut with a blade skillfully guided, then skillfully sewn, while windows were painted, then carefully scraped, and taps were fitted in shining chrome. Then the seats were upholstered, material bolstered. And while a man was writing a sign, and others were putting that last mirror shine on metal and paint, the seat was finished. And those who ride in its regal embrace can truthfully claim to sit in the pride and work of a king.
As time gets on, so people get thinner, unless they take lunch or midday dinner. So the kitchen car prepares to fill the waistcoat of Jack and the waistline of Jill. Watch them consistently filling the gaps in their faces with food without filling their laps. They wouldn't be eating as smooth in most cars, or ocean steamers, or even some bars. As undisturbed as Robinson Crusoe by the train's motion, they swallow their meats. What in the railways allows them to do so? One of the factors enabling these feats of filling stomachs without filling laps is the state of the track, which depends on these chaps of the maintenance gangs. The chaps who see that the rails are tight in their several chairs, who see that they're straight and on the level, unlike crooks or stairs, who see that the chairs are firmly fixed, that no evil disturbs the sleepers, who see that the gap's not been stretched in the night by clandestine creepers, who see that this very important small gap will not cause any damage by wrapping some diner's first-class Adam's apple in chicken or cabbage, who see that the passengers riding in clover can take meals on velvet at 90 or over.
While the side-slipping countryside changes to town, meadow, sweet, speedwell, charter and gown, dreamlike in boxes, unseen watchful eyes, path-setting panel tell us no lies. Watch the trains passing, guide her with care, junction and crossing, points in a pair. With a turn of the wrist, the click of a switch, track circuit magic, vault of the witch, out of York City and on to the north, past Durham, Newcastle, over Tweed to the Forth.
Now beyond York, the Scots crew prepare to relieve the strain on the English pair. No driver of trains is more proud of his Scottish descent than MacLeod. He insists every engine has pipes to each piston and burns in its box for MacLeod. His mate, Mungo Scott's cursed with Bristol, that's as tough as a John Knox epistle. When he kissed a young lass in the dark for a lark, she asked, "Was that you or a thistle?" Sir Nigel Gresley designed his A4 with the speed of a greyhound, the strength of a boar. But when he put fire in her stomach, he taught her to burn with a furious thirst for water. So when she approaches a water trough, watch Fireman Mungo doing his stuff.
Driver and fireman, relieved of the strain, rest now while the pounding refrain that beat itself into the cells of your brain murmurs along in the voice of the train. God, keep your watch on this world of corridors, coaches, while passengers curled in safeguarded rest are rapidly swirled past the vision of Durham, swiftly unfurled. The Elizabethan goes driving onwards, while buffet attendants or restaurant stewards, performing their corridor service dance, try to anticipate passengers' wants, waltzing through coaches to serve in compartments, while signals are serving the train with clear distance. Sometimes breaking this smooth onward flow, though the home signal's clear, the distance says slow. The regulator slams shut, and McLeod clamps on the brakes. The loud hiss of steam as the train seems to slow to the pace of a cloud breaks the afternoon task and disperses the dream. At the end of these wires sit men in control rooms, like prompters assisting the course of a play, breathing out words like Arabian perfumes. Too bad there's no record of just what they say. They watch every train that moves in their region of thousands of miles of railway distance and try to forestall any slightest suspicion of slack that might make its unholy appearance. But while every passenger knows the importance of his own special train arriving on time, the men in control rooms must weigh in the balance the claims of 1,109.
But the Elizabethans, a particular, special, never more smiled upon non-stop train. Nothing must stop her. The order's official, and lateness could cause operational pain. And at last, the ultimate cause of the slack over the hills far away up the line is cleared. And the train picks up speed on the track through Newcastle City and over the Tyne. But now the express has lost time. She'll be late unless driver Tony and Mungo, his mate, can make up 4 minutes and nearly a quarter on the difficult stretch running over the border.
Here's driver McLeod, mighty old hunter, chasing each minute of time's silent thunder, riding down seconds over the straight track, chasing the seconds lost rounding the curved track, coaxing each delicate petal of power out of steam's suddenly blossoming flower. Here's muscular Mungo, hard-handed toiler, who keeps water flowing round the tubes of the boiler, keeps up the pressure, heaves tons of coal on, makes sure his driver's got enough steam to roll on, bends till his back aches, shifts as his feet work, rhythmically swinging to make boiler heat work. As they come down from Grant's house, the peak of the climb, they're over the worst.
And she's running on time.
Platform 10. The train now approaching platform 10 is the Elizabethan from London to King's Cross.
Mr. Arnott of Waverley Station has a very high sense of occasion. If a train's a non-stopper, his topper is proper. His Hamburg's for trains of low station.
The Elizabethan that's now arriving at platform 10 in Waverley Station left London at 9:30 sharp this morning with mothers, with sons in high expectation, with fathers, with daughters, of pounding the path non-stop from King's Cross in 6 hours and a half. Here Edinburgh stands on its rock by the Forth, singing its welcome to those who come north, where the clans and the heather have fashioned a reason to mingle their blooms in a festival season.